Have you ever been on a project where things just keep changing? It can get pretty chaotic, right? Well, today we're unpacking the framework that was literally designed to master that chaos, Scrum. We're going to boil down the entire official Scrum guide into just 5 minutes. So let's jump right in.
So let's kick things off with a big question. How do you actually build something complex when you don't have all the answers up front? When the finish line seems to be moving all the time. That's the exact challenge Scrum was created to tackle. And here it is, the official definition. The words to lock onto here are lightweight and adaptive. Seriously, don't think of Scrum as some massive, detailed blueprint where every single step is planned out for the next year. It's more like a simple rulebook for a game. It allows the players, the team, to change their strategy on the fly as the game unfolds. All right, here's our game plan. We'll quickly cover what Scrum is, the principles that make it tick, who's on the team, what the process looks like in action, and we'll wrap it all up with the one big idea you absolutely need to remember. Okay, first things first, what does Scrum actually look like? At its core, it's just a simple, repeatable cycle. That's it. This little cycle is basically the engine of Scrum. Think of it like this. Step 1, the product owner creates a big ol' wish list for the project, and they put the most important stuff right at the top. Step 2, the team grabs a chunk of work from the top of that list and actually builds a small, working piece of the product. Step 3, everyone, the team, the stakeholders, gets together to look at what was just built and gives feedback. And step 4, you just do it all over again. It's this constant loop of building, learning, and adapting. But what makes that simple loop so powerful? Well, that brings us to the core principles. This is the philosophy, the why behind the what. It really all comes down to two big ideas. First up is empiricism, which is just a fancy way of saying you learn by doing. You make decisions based on real-world evidence, on what you can actually see and test, not some grand plan you guessed at months ago. And the second idea is lean thinking, which is all about being ruthless and cutting out waste and focusing only on what really truly matters. And empiricism itself stands on three pillars that absolutely have to work together. You need transparency, so everyone can see what's really going on with the work. That transparency then allows for inspection, actually looking at the progress and checking if you're heading in the right direction. And that inspection is pretty useless unless you have adaptation, the power to actually change course based on what you just learned. You see how they all lean on each other? You can't have one without the others. And holding all of this up are 5 key values. Now, these aren't just nice-to-have words. They are the fuel for the whole system. Think about it. Without commitment and focus, work just drifts. Without openness and courage, tough problems stay hidden until it's too late. And without respect, teamwork just falls apart. These values are what create the environment for a team to actually succeed. So we've got the philosophy down, but who are the people actually making it all happen? Let's talk about the Scrum team. The most important part of Scrum is the team itself, and it's designed to be this little self-sufficient powerhouse. Cross-functional means everyone you need to get the job done, designers, coders, testers, you name it, is right there on the team. No more waiting around for other departments. And self-managing means they decide how to get the work done. There's no project manager telling everyone what to do. The team owns it. And team size really matters. The official guide says 10 people or fewer. Why so small? Well, it's just about communication. A tiny team can talk to each other easily. But once you get bigger, the number of communication lines just explodes, and things get slow and messy. Keeping it small keeps the team fast and flexible. Now, within that team, there are 3 distinct accountabilities. You've got the developers. These are the people with the skills to actually build the product. Then there's the product owner, who is obsessed with the what. Their job is to make sure the team is always building the most valuable thing possible. And finally, you have the Scrum Master. They're like the coach, focused on the how. They protect the team, clear roadblocks, and make sure the whole Scrum framework is running smoothly. All right, so we've got the principles and the people. Now let's look at the actual process, the events and tools that give Scrum its rhythm. The absolute heartbeat of Scrum is an event called the sprint. It's just a container of time, usually between 1 and 4 weeks, where all the work gets done. And that fixed length is super important. It creates a predictable pulse, a steady rhythm that helps the team focus and actually deliver something valuable over and over again. And inside every single sprint, there are 4 formal events. It all kicks off with sprint planning, where the team figures out what they can accomplish. Then, every day, there's a quick 15-minute daily scrum to sync up and adjust the plan. At the very end, the sprint review is all about showing stakeholders what was built. And the final event is the sprint retrospective, where the team looks back and asks, how can we get even better next time?
Okay, so with all this stuff happening, how does everyone stay on the same page? That's where Scrum's 3 artifacts come in. You can just think of them as the key tools that make all the work visible to everyone. First up is the product backlog. This is the single source of truth for the entire product. It's one long, prioritized wish list of everything that might be needed, and the product owner is constantly tweaking it to make sure the most important stuff is always right at the top. Next, we have the sprint backlog. So if the product backlog is the map for the entire road trip, the sprint backlog is the detailed plan for just the next leg of the journey. It's the plan created by the developers for the developers, and it always includes a clear sprint goal, the one thing they're trying to achieve. And finally, we have the increment. Honestly, this is the whole point of a sprint. It's the sum of all the completed work, creating a new, usable, and potentially shippable version of the product. And the key rule here is that for work to be included, it has to meet the team's definition of done, their shared agreement on what it means for something to be truly finished. It's a commitment to quality. Okay, all of these roles, rules, and events are leading up to one final super important idea. If you take away only one thing from this, make it this. This quote from the guide says it all. Scrum is purposefully incomplete. It's not a step-by-step instruction manual that tells you exactly what to do. It's a framework, a container. It gives you the essential rules and boundaries, but then trusts the intelligence of the people using it to figure out the best way to succeed. So, at the end of the day, Scrum gives you a powerful structure for navigating complex work. It gives you the rules of the game. The real question it leaves you with is this: how are you and your team going to play it?